Okay, hello everybody, and welcome to our Chinese New Year episode of Week in Tech, which is before, and we are likely going to forget. So let's start off by wishing you, Gong Xi Fat Chai to all of you who celebrate Chinese New Year. Drive extremely safe on the highways, and have a great time with your loved ones. And we'll see you back, the week after Chinese New Year. But hang on to the show because we're just getting started here. With me is my co-host Aisha Mustafa. Aisha, how's it going?
Good. When you said we'll see you back, I was expecting next week, and that's the end of the show.
The show, yeah, it'll be the shortest show in the history of the show so far. No, but anyway, we're going to start off with the cover story for the coming week, which is on the shared services outsourcing industry, and there was a report commissioned by MDEC and PCOM.
Actually, I think it was PCOM, and MDEC, yeah.
And MDEC, and then
Outsourcing Malaysia.
So Aisha was there, so I'll let you carry the floor, Aisha, with what was the highlights of that. You can just turn it around so they can see this.
Actually, I think we've got a SSO hype versus core reality, and I think this is a very interesting headline because one thing good about out of this report is that it really sort of fleshes out the core realities that you see in SSO. Because I remember last year MDEC released their report, and SSO is the biggest sector that contributes the most to ICT. I think I can't remember, but it's a huge amount for ICT. But when you look at you zoom into the data, and you see that currently the US $3 billion market that exists in Malaysia are mostly project-based deals. They're not long-term deals, mostly
which means recurring income, right?
Yeah, long-term deals
and
maybe.
Getting closer to the customer.
Meaning that the customer will always outsource to you. That's probably more of a, their whole function is outsourced to you. Whereas if it's project-based, it's only until that thing ends. I think because this report is, you can buy it with Outsourcing Malaysia for 800, so they didn't really provide too many numbers. But David Wong, the chairman of Outsourcing Malaysia, says that they did another study last year. And this study did not include project-based calculations. So from that 3 billion, he said that study previously puts it at 1.1 billion. So, I mean, it's not exactly in the same study, but if you look at it, not even half is long-term deals.
Long-term deals.
So, I mean, this is a worrying trend because in the long run, most companies would be running from job to job, and that's really risky.
It's not sustainable,
It's definitely not sustainable, especially if, with other countries, they have, as they come up, we're definitely going to lose out to them, especially Vietnam right now. And then I think another interesting fact that they said was that most of the local service providers are small to medium enterprises. And the thing is, when you want to bid for global deals with the big names of the world, they won't even consider you if even if you're just a 100-man shop. It's currently right now we don't seem to be that competitive, or we're not even shortlisted for global deals because our companies basically don't have that scale. And I think David was talking about maybe having an M&A fund that kind of starts this merger and acquisition thing because it's probably kind of unheard of in this industry where you have M&As. But again, I think this is probably something that the industry needs to come up with instead of another government initiative.
But they are looking to the government, I think, to the tune of hundreds of millions of ringgit, for this M&A fund.
Exactly, but I don't know. I just I don't think first of all, it's not as easy as merging two things together. It takes it's management, it's integrating them, dealing with them, and if it was something that's driven by the government, I think it's going to get a little bit messy and might not have the outcome that we want. Whereas if it is coming from the companies itself or even the local conglomerates that they want to expand their market share, then they will do it right. That's how I feel at least.
When you talk about local conglomerate, I mean, this money is one, and then our Malaysian conglomerates, a lot of times they're doing these things in-house. When they need a particular skill set or whatever, a lot of them have their own IT company, and they've set up their own SSO centers too. And which is one of the critical things that is holding back the industry now, because if those service providers who are exclusively dealing in the SSO BPO space are not able to gain the confidence of this conglomerate to say we can develop the skill set and we can deliver for you on a continual basis and value add and help you improve your processes. if you trust us to do this work for you, right, instead of doing it in-house, instead of them doing it in-house, how are the local players going to grow? But the big local companies, the big companies in Malaysia are not doing it. They're not trusting this. Mostly SME, SSO players, and that's disturbing. And we haven't moved away from this in the last 5 years, because I was at the inaugural brainstorming session of Outsourcing Malaysia, and even back then they identified this is one of the key things the local industry has to do, because if you cannot get that traction in your home country, how are you going to build scale, and then go out with your resume and say, listen, you company A in Nigeria or Japan, you can trust us to do this for you,
Exactly. Yeah.
So it's frustrating, it's annoying, and it's a severe overhang over the growth of this industry for sure. So how are they going to overcome it? I don't know, but they have to. Otherwise, the industry, I don't think, will achieve its potential. We can shout all we want every year about being, number 3 in 80 Kearney's, ideal outsourcing location in the world, but we're still stuck as small players, and I'm already extremely worried about that.
I think the key with 80 Kearney is ideal, so it's just potential of what we could be, but it's, the core reality is different.
Yeah, it's showing now. So Outsourcing Malaysia has a lot of work to do, and I think the time span for maximizing, and taking advantage of that is getting shorter and shorter. So, and they got to do something fast. But anyway, let's move on to the other story, which was on hack-in-the-box jobs, right? And this is, I think, what Dylan and his partner